Welcome back to the Smite Console League. We got everything ready here for Game 3. Finch and Aggro going to be giving you the call. Game 1 was a bit one-sided. Game 2 took a while longer, but SARPEII had a big impact. Game 3 really could go either way.
It felt like Game 2 was going a little bit longer, but I'm pretty sure that was a quicker game time in Game 2.
Wow.
So both have ended up being a little bit one-sided. We'll see what happens here in Game 3. You're right.
We got those picks and bans are ready for you. No need for any delay. Playing Ducks up against Imnsonia. They got the shades on and they're ready to rock. I can't see any reason why they couldn't be able to find a victory here, Ryan, but Imnsonia not going to make it easy.
Though, I feel like they're like goggles.
Oh,
know?
they're goggles? I'm fine with that too.
Yeah, I think they're
Some
goggles.
nice like
because
sports goggles are fine.
I was thinking like swimming goggles, really. Maybe like flight goggles?
No. I will not accept that.
No. Oh, okay.
Well, what I mean to say is that would be far less cool. They could be that.
Flight goggles are less cool?
Oh, this is why you loved Up, isn't it? Oh, she had those ridiculous aviators on or whatever, too. Like, good lord. Get me out. Tell me those are sports goggles or shades or something. Those guys are too cool. I like the Ducks. I'm with them. I'm on their side.
Didn't know that sports goggles ranked pretty high on your cool meter instead of, like, I don't know, flying goggles or
those are
swimming
lame.
goggles.
Okay.
All right.
Agni first picked here by Ducks, and I like this idea because it seems like whichever mid laner has had this Agni has just done better here so far.
Sure, but so is Cerberus can be said the same.
Yeah,
so,
that's
and
true.
I think Cerberus is a little bit better right now than Agni is, so I think I would have gone Cerberus first pick, but Imnsonia take away the Susano. Love that idea, and yeah, that's what I was going to say. So Susano Cerberus is the logical top two here, unless you want to go Athena. That's the only other one that I could really see in this spot.
Yeah, but SARPEII looked like a different person on this Susano, so I'm okay with this. I agree with you that the Athena has been hotly contested and certainly will end up going, but with how good that was played, I like grabbing that away and the Cerberus as well.
I was going to say, they don't pick Ares here, do they?
Whoa!
I was going to say, there's no way they pick Ares. I literally was that close, and sure enough, here we are. So here's where you see that Imnsonia can pass the test.
Yes.
This is the test.
Yes.
And they pick Geb again. Okay, if this is Geb solo, I'm
Whoa.
losing my mind. I'm losing my mind, Finch.
How would you not want? You want the rerun, except this time we've got the Susano. I love that.
Why do you want the rerun? Why?
Because for pride, because y'all like beating me with it twice, right? Show me again. Try it again.
Man, you were my favorite type of player to play against when I was playing, because it's for pride is the best answer I could ever get.
I will kill myself if you're backing in front of me in lane, like the disrespect back. I would rather die than let that back go through. I'm definitely that player.
Sure. Well, I like the Medusa ban here by the Playing Ducks. Take that away from VeganFatness.
Sure.
They've got to be putting Cerberus solo, right? With how well JhoX played it in Game 1,
yes.
There is no way that's Geb solo.
No, I don't think so. I think there's not a chance, yes. Especially with the Jing, that's a safe, we're not going to die lane. They don't have much pressure, but good luck killing us. I think that definitely seems like the safe duo lane.
Okay. All right. Good. I feel better now.
That's
At least until we load in and I get betrayed. Yi picked up here by Ducks. A little bit interesting that we see that in the Jing. Usually Jing is kind of thought of as that pretty safe hunter against Yi because it stops the dive bomb ricochet combo from happening. But the Jing does bring crit in the mid to late game. Yi passive means he can't get crit very often. So this is still a pretty decent pick and gives Ducks even more AoE.
But this is a ton of AoE, a ton of aggression, I feel like, from this Ducks draft as Chang'e comes in. So I imagine we're seeing a Chang'e mid, which we don't see very often from this type of draft. That's got to be where that's going. But let us know in that mixer poll who you think is going to be the one that wins this game. But yeah, Chang'e mid here, huh?
Don't love it. It does give you good immunity against no escape and the taunt. And that's where I think we're seeing this. But Agni is one of the best characters at not overcommitting into a Moonlit Waltz and keeping you honest with your immunity. Just like we saw him do with the Ravana in the last game, throw a bomb, don't stun. Bomb stun the next time, and now they have to use beads, and now they're vulnerable for a long period of time. If that's a Poseidon instead of Agni, I really like this Chang'e pick. With the Agni there, not as high on it, though I do have to admit, I've always been a Chang'e mid hater, so you take what I'm saying with a grain of salt.
But we'll see how it ends up working. Let's see where all these picks are going. Game number 3 will make you wait no longer. It is going to be the Ares solo, but it's against the Cerberus this time.
Wait.
And is that PBE, actually?
They switched.
Yeah, JhoX is in the jungle now.
They switched. No, don't. Doug, you got it right.
Yeah, JhoX has Assassins. Yeah.
JhoX has Assassin's Blessing. They switch roles.
That's interesting here in the middle of the set. Going to be the call
from
Imnsonia.
Now, I've had this happen in scrims, and this is when I knew things were going downhill for us because it was with Chapo was my jungler, Uzi was my solo laner. And Uzi would be playing a matchup that Chapo didn't think Uzi was playing correctly. And he'd go, just let me show you how to play it. I'll play solo next scrim. You can jungle. And that's when I knew we were going to have a bad night, because that it's disrespectful to do that to a man. And I feel like that's what happened here, right? JhoX goes, I don't know what to do against Ares solo. I can't do anything. And PBE goes, let me show you how it's done. And this is a recipe for disaster, in my mind. Unless this is something they've practiced a lot, which I can't imagine it is.
Right.
I am not a fan of mid-set role switch-ups at all. Now, I think it throws off your entire team dynamic.
And I 100% agree with you, but to the favor of Imnsonia here, the matchup I feel like just is plain better with a Cerberus there, right?
So much better.
So even if he's not as comfortable with it, there's almost no chance it can't go better than it went last game over there in the solo lane. They don't have the Susano.
Can't go much
worse. Who have the
Typhoon.
You know, they've got a better matchup just with the Cerberus there in general. He's going to boot start here with teleport, so he'll have the cooldown boots right away. Things are already looking better for Imnsonia, but that does raise some question marks.
It definitely does. And it's not like the solo lane, it was a problem, but it wasn't the only problem, because
it was really the
TPC
jungler.
was really ahead.
Yeah.
The jungler fell super far behind. You know, TPC got way ahead of Krima. That was all contributing factors to that victory. It wasn't just that solo got super far behind.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Not Kempf, though. Getting a little bit low this time. Paralyzing Spit a bit off the mark, but things already feeling a little bit different. But I got my eyes here on this mid lane matchup. What's Krima going to get done with this Chang'e? Because you said you're not a big fan of it, and I guess why don't you like it? It does not have enough pressure early on. Is it just safer in solo lane?
Yeah, it just doesn't do a lot of damage. It just doesn't bring a lot of control. It just doesn't bring a lot of pressure. Your wave clear isn't great. It just doesn't do with the things it does in solo, because that happens. Like, you lose your 2v2 so hard.
Able to find the kill, and JhoX might be in a little bit of trouble here as well as SARPEII goes on the hunt. Kino is here with the shockwave, so JhoX can find the return kill. Imnsonia will answer back and defend their buff, but the all-important first blood goes over to playing Ducks.
It really is a play style thing. There were a lot of players, especially when I was playing, that really loved Chang'e mid and played it pretty consistently. And that was in large part due to the meta that was prevalent at the time. It was a lot of Poseidon and a lot of Isis, where having one burst of immunity was really good. But also it stopped you from getting absolutely crushed in team fights. And I think that a lot of mid laners in general, then and now, as a mentality, I think that mid laners view dying as too much of a negative. I think that a lot of team fights, your optimal team fight presence is you dying at some point. And I think Chang'e takes that idea almost out of your mind a lot of the time. That's why I was always a big fan of characters like Isis and like Zeus, where I'm supposed to do my job and then die, so that the rest of my team can do what they need to do to win the team fight afterwards.
Right.
Plus, then I blame it on that, and no one gets mad at me for dying as much.
Right, but I think I get the idea, which is that when you're on this Chang'e, you might be too focused on surviving, right? Instead of trying to put your damage out.
Yes.
If I'm on Zeus and I'm like, well, I might die, but y'all are all hit by the lightning storm for sure, right? Or I'm getting my detonate charge off.
Yep.
And so the idea might be that if Krima's focus isn't entirely on getting the most out of his abilities team fight-wise, then that could be a hindrance to the team.
It's also that these are multiple characters that pick up anti-heal very, very well on the enemy team.
Yes.
If I need a consistent anti-healer, Agni is my favorite pick to go to. If Ravana is excellent with Brawler's Beat Stick because he doesn't lose a lot of survivability by going for it. Ares can pick up Pestilence because it gives him power off the aura and anti-heals you simultaneously. This is just not a composition that I would have loved to pick Chang'e against.
This is a problem on both fronts, as JhoX has White Noise, can't quite finish him underneath the tower, and VeganFatness and Kino can't find KS Ray. They split targets, and instead of getting both like I imagine they hoped, they got neither, and the duo lane's fine.
That's the greed getting a little bit too much there. You're right. If particularly OhMyJhox just got to turn around and hit KS Ray, and that's where you wonder if that's PvE, has those natural assassin instincts, maybe he does turn around and understand that you take what you can get on a gank like that. Again, I don't know the team dynamics well enough for Imnsonia to know if maybe PvE was a solo laner before, maybe JhoX was a jungler before. You never really know. But I do know that it is odd to play 2 games with one configuration and the third with a different.
Does end up favoring outplaying Ducks, I would say, or rather rather Insomnia, I would say, is they able to make it out rather comfortably on the back end of that, and really playing Ducks can't find much of anything now. Not too much was committed, and the beats are down for VeganFatness. Brent had to come out from Kino as well, so they will be more susceptible in the future, but, you know, just how susceptible feels like the question.
Another reason I don't like Chang'e in the mid lane is that the reason you can stay on the map so long in solo is because of the blue buff that you get, and that means that your mana sustain is a little bit better.
Sure.
In mid, you don't get that blue buff, and so you're constantly needing to back anyways, so your Chang'e passive is still good, but not great. I've also got 13 other reasons why I hate Chang'e.
I was just thinking,
if you want me to go into it.
Had we left the Chang'e hate train station, but it seemed as no.
I never leave.
I've
got a house here.
I live here.
I own real estate at this part of town.
SARPEII, though, looking to try and repeat this gank on Zone lane. This time it's not a Geb. Defender of Olympus will all but guarantee it, and PBE ends up falling as well. Not as easy as you thought, perhaps.
And this is where if PBE was like, yo, let me show you how it's done, JhoX is like, oh, that's how I was supposed to do it, you know?
Well, they committed quite a bit to find that kill. Can JhoX respond by finding a kill in mid lane? Waxing Moon lands, but it's just not enough damage, and now it's JhoX who dies instead.
JhoX tried so many times to get Typhoon off. Did the little, you know, little puppy spin, like I like to call it, where you start the Typhoon animation.
Right.
Canceled.
Where you
tries
chase your
it again.
tail, yeah.
Canceled. And then eventually gets it off, and at that point, he's already dead.
SARPEII and the rest of the squad looking for the red buff invade. They will taunt Kino back in. Cataclysm hits everybody's shield to keep him alive, and now it's Ray who gets knocked up. VeganFatness finally on his way to the brawl. Finds the shots on the KS Ray, but it's SARPEII who grabs the first kill.
Sunbreaker, not enough to get that red buff away, I don't believe. VeganFatness able to pick it up, and White Noise picked up by JhoX, and playing Ducks again ends up staying around too long as TPC nearly gets that kill onto JhoX, and this Agni from ahead, man, feels impossible to deal with. It really does.
He does so much damage, and it feels like from such a safe position. Plus, he has the dash to worry about as well. I'm a huge Agni fan.
Agreed.
I don't know if I've said this before, but I think he's a top-tier mage almost all the time because he just does so much for your squad. But an unfortunate death there for White Noise, who you know, didn't get much done.
There's just not a lot of compositions that I'll look at and go, yeah, I don't think Agni's good here.
I don't know if safety damage control does it for me with this one.
Right, exactly. Maybe I want Chang'e instead. No, there aren't a lot of compositions where I'll go, Agni's horrible. There are compositions where other gods are better, for sure. I don't feel like you don't need a whole lot of setup as Agni a lot of the time. So when I have an Athena, I'm a little bit more inclined to go Thoth or Ra or something along those lines.
Right.
Poseidon, someone that can really control these team fights pretty well. But I really can't think of one where I'm like, Agni's not great. Maybe Ares support and like Odin solo, and I'm like, yeah, Agni doesn't seem great in this spot, but outside of that, he's so consistent.
That's a good point. If I have a ton of setup, I might prefer a Ra, but even then, Agni's not bad. He's still good follow-up even, so you're still not even disappointed. He just feels strong here at this point as
the big thing when playing Agni with Athena is to stagger your Noxious Fumes properly.
Right, so you're not stacking the CC.
Exactly. You want to use your bomb stun right as that taunt is wearing off to keep that CC chain going.
Well, this time it's the Conf who's getting ganked by the Susano. Not so fun on the other side, I imagine, as Kino has to back up, taking a ton of free poke there from TPC in middle lane. Buying space for exactly this. Mystic Rush from SARPEII dunks him down.
That is, you got to just accept that you're dead in that spot if you look in that corridor. You never turn around to look at the Slender Man, right? Like, that's the point.
Feels like a different Kino in these last two games. He seemed a bit disconnected from the rest of the team as he ends up getting punished there. VeganFatness airstrikes in, but will almost certainly be going back the other way defensively, and he will make it back to the rest of his team.
If White Noise holds his dive bomb and just drops the Sunbreaker wherever VeganFatness lands, that might have been a kill, as TPC dead to the pressure from JhoX. Now, as I said, there aren't a lot of comps where I hate Agni, but Susano is one character that can give Agni a lot of trouble. You just use that jet stream and play chicken on Path of Flames. You force him to dash away and then get a teleport after him. Nice and easy.
Susano looking comfortable here, but this game has been kind of all over the place a little bit here for Game 3, I would say. It's sporadic fighting, not always with a real purpose. There's been a lot around the red buff on Chaos side that has had a focal point, but sometimes just in mid lane trading blows for no real reason. It's been all over the place.
Chang'e's build path also not very good in the mid lane. Just, what are you buying at the right times? Looks like a Book of Thoth Rush for Kreema. That'll help out his mana sustain, but it's already 10 minutes and he doesn't have it done quite yet. He has caught up a little bit in XP, but he's down 1,200 gold.
One more time where Kino by himself and gets caught out. Aggression from Playing Ducks pays off as they catch out the Geb, give him his third death, and they might be eyeing the Gold Fury in the back of it, already being pulled now by SARPEII.
TPC can tank this for a moment because of Bancroft, but doesn't want to spend a whole lot of time on it. White Noise might be able to drop the ultimate. Indeed he will, to try and burn this down. JhoX is here and it gets reset.
He does come over and at least force them back, but they find the kill either way. TPC gets credit. They pull the Gold Fury. Mystic Rush. Imnsonia, though, are the ones who end up grabbing it. Playing Ducks can't confirm it. And now Waxing Moon sets up a double kill for Kreema. Chang'e mid laners coming out to play.
That reset is just inexcusable from Playing Ducks. I mean, it is within secure range, and they end up dropping it. And VeganFatness secures it over 4 different members of Playing Ducks by airstriking towards Playing Ducks. And then he lives after that. That is a rough fight from Playing Ducks, to be sure.
And that's the area where I'm not surprised that we're seeing a bit of a collapse there from Playing Ducks, right? Because the 4-on-4, 5-on-5 objective team fight, from the little we've seen of them, has not been their strength.
No.
It's been these what happened up until now, these sort of sporadic jungle fights that they can find, the random ganks, the 1v1s. So Imnsonia coming out the better there, I'm not too surprised by it, but again, that's got to be something Playing Ducks will work on cleaning up.
You think that if you're going to name yourself Playing Ducks, you would just come up with a team fight formation and call it the Flying V, right? Like you're in a team fight and you're like, yo, Flying V, and then you do something sick. At least that's what I would do. I don't know. Nothing for me on that one?
No, I don't know. What?
Like Flying
Wasn't
V.
there used to be a Flying V where you go down mid and it's like 5 of you and you kind of you push like that? I thought that was an actual play.
Well, you totally could, and I would do that if I were naming myself Playing Ducks. But I think that, you know, I'd be like, okay, let's run Flying V, but that's just when you just blink on the mid laner and I snipe them or something like that. But we have like a name for it.
Right, you just want to have a cool name for it because you're the Playing Ducks.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they do, I don't know.
The Playing Ducks have set me up to expect some pretty cool stuff from them, as PBE will get pulled back in and die quite easily to SARPEII. I like the idea from the Stygian Torment, but not going to help get away from that.
JhoX.
And now JhoX in some trouble as well. Mystic Rush there, but Typhoon should create some space, but it's the wrong direction, and SARPEII finds an easy kill.
There was pre-beads there from SARPEII anyways, and that was just an easy kill for the jungler for Playing Ducks. JhoX definitely should not have teleported in with that jet stream at that point.
Well, now it's Kino left isolated under the tier 1 tower, but he is a rather tanky Geb at this point, and their focus is more onto the structure. Conf takes some damage I don't think he quite wanted, but they're going to take this tier 1 tower down slowly but surely.
Cataclysm expended as well from Kino, and that won't be enough to get the job done. Playing Ducks, you're right, they definitely want to take these weird, quick bursts of engagement where it's not quite as planned out or extended. The quicker the better, it feels like right now for Playing Ducks. If they can get a quick gank in, then they'll really excel, but in these extended team fights, they start to get a little, they get their wires crossed a bit.
And that speaks to what you said earlier on, right, where there might not be a clear voice in the comms. If the fight's just breaking out and everyone's just kind of doing their thing, then maybe it doesn't matter if there's not that concise call coming through. But when we need to decide on regrouping or who's our target or where we want to put our focus, that sort of thing, in the middle of so much going on and keeping track of all these cooldowns, that's where it's going to be a lot more relevant. And that comes out to bear a little bit more in those prolonged engagements.
I think there's a common misconception for a lot of viewers and fans whenever we say things like not having cohesive voice in comms or, you know, a voice to listen to. And I think a lot of people hear that and think, oh, they aren't saying the right things or they aren't communicating properly or at all. And that's really not the case. The vast majority of miscommunication and things like that in team fights is that everyone is talking.
It's over-communication.
It's over-communication, heavily. And that's something that teams really need to get down, and it's very hard to be... You can't talk too little because then you don't have the right information. You can't talk too much or no one can hear the right information. You need to talk just the right amount, and that's where playing together with the same group of 4 other players becomes so valuable because you get into these natural rhythms of this is where I talk, This is what I need to. This is what I'm talking about all the time. That is what you need from your team. And then the veteran teams, you know, we'll do a listening with Dignitas, something like that, and there will be a 35-second stretch where no one says a word because no one needs to say anything because they all understand what's happening in the midst of that engagement.
They'll also have a 35-second stretch where no one will shut up, and they have their balance that they've established. A very good team fighting unit, clearly at this point. I agree. They've struck their balance. Yeah.
And it's tough. I mean, it took my team a long time to get to that point where we felt comfortable with everything, and it was for a long time our jungler calling everything all the time, and all of us just communicating when we needed help. But I think that ultimately what set us up for the most success was it would be. Our jungler would call targets for himself and our solo, basically the backline divers, and then I would be calling targets for myself and my ADC for who I think that we should be killing, and then our support would kind of float wherever he felt like he was needed.
Nice two-man taunt sets up a good initiation, but White Noise patience with the ultimate unneeded as SARPEII finds Krima. 2 anti-heal items already built rather efficiently by playing Ducks, and that's going to limit Chang'e's upside. As Nakamp wants to keep going into VeganFatness way deep beyond the Phoenix and the Tier 2. The pull, not going to land beads are there, but not enough damage on the actual chains.
JhoX, on the other hand, he's going to get that kill and escape somehow. I thought he was dead to rights, but he ends up surviving. And we'll get that back up underneath the Tier 2 tower. Looks like PBE manages to stay up as well. So Gold Fury still on the table here for playing Ducks, but could have been a deicide there easily for Imnsonia.
This definitely favors the health bars now for playing Ducks. They will come back and grab this objective. And it's still too early. We said in the life of PS4, and I agree with that, for there to be favorites coming into this, I think. For there to be, you know, who we're expecting to win. But Imnsonia look so good when they play as a unit that against playing Ducks, who can play so sporadically, it would be hard not to pick them. But so far, playing Ducks look a little bit better, at least in this Game 3. Now, they're not too far ahead. This game not over by any stretch. But if the game continues to go along this path, it feels like it favors the Ducks.
I agree. And that's where, yes, I agree with you that Imnsonia is a team that plays better as a unit and seems to be a little bit more cohesive in what they want to do as a team. And so a lot of players would read that as they are the better team.
Right.
But that's not always the case. So much of being able to play at a competitive level is being able to exert your will on the opponent and make them play your game. And playing Ducks, at least through 2.5 games, has done a better job of that so far. So we'll see if Imnsonia are able to hit the handbrake and get themselves back to where they should be in this game, but they're going to need to. Otherwise, I think playing Ducks do have the advantage.
Now, I talked a little bit about these anti-heal options, Brawlers and Divine Ruin. Might get there in a moment as VeganFatness.
Wow, that crit. 10% crit chance, by the way.
That's an easy 100%.
Against me, it is.
Ask anybody. Poison Star might as well read easy 100% for me.
Unreal.
It always ends up going out there.
That is a tilt for me. That tilts me when I get crit by 10%.
It's not even finished for White Noise, right? He's still building it. Yeah.
That is like, what did so much damage? Like, he was VeganFatness, not in a good position, but didn't, disrespect the damage, got his ultimate off right away, knew that he was in trouble, did everything he could have after making mistakes, and then it just didn't work out because he got crit off 10% chance.
Krima has now been dived beyond the Tier 1 tower, even to the Tier 2, sets up a nice kill.
He got
overall,
creamed.
2 for 1 in favor of Imnsonia, make that 2 for 2, as now JhoX finds a 1 more kill to even things out. Taunt to control him, and that means that SARPEII is indeed able to find the trade. Now 3 for 2 overall, but BBE wants to change that as well. Stygian Torment just off the mark, and they make it out.
Speed buff, good thing for junglers. That's what saved SARPEII's life in that spot. Didn't have beads, didn't need to use them because that speed buff let him just manage to get outside the range of Stygian Torment.
Anyway, the anti-heal coming out from playing Ducks, looking quite comfortable, right? Pestilence, Divine Ruin, and the Brawler's Beatstick. And we said On God 2 quite comfortably can build it anyway, right? Agni applies Divine Ruin so easily.
Yep.
Raven, no problem with the Brawler's Beatstick, wants that early pen anyway.
Yep.
And Pestilence coming in for some added defense for Ray.
It's perfect. And Nakamp could even pick up another Pestilence if you want to stack them in this spot. It wouldn't be a horrible idea. Looks like Nakamp is going to be going for a Gem of Isolation, which he went for in the last game. That's because he was way ahead. This game, he is the exact opposite of that. He is behind, and if he goes Gem here, he should just be killed in every team fight he shows up in. I mean, it's as simple as Waxing Moon into damage from VeganFatness should get the kill onto this Ares. But we'll see if Imnsonia is willing to commit that much. It would take a commit from them without a doubt, but usually to start off without a solo laner is a really hard way to win a team fight.
Book of the Dead is the pickup, it looks like, here for Krima. He'll try and give himself a little bit of extra survivability from that shield you're able to grab when he goes down to lower health targets. But he is going to get stunned down. It is helping him out there as Waxing Moon lands. Typhoon comes through as well.
Get in
White
there,
Noise
my guy.
Gets out. Doesn't win a dive bomb back in.
Yeah, man. I love the way he played that. Hits as many autos as he can afford, then is able to get up and out. I wonder if the Book of the Dead shield made him think Geb was there. Sure. And that's what forced him back.
There's a chance that he might have just thought that initially as Cataclysm hits 3,
yeah,
but the taunt's even better, pulls 2 back into a ton of damage. Now Geb's been all chained up. PBE is going to find a kill, but not before one more comes out for TPC. 3 for 1 in Playing Duck's favor.
SARPEII does such a good job of keeping Imnsonia busy in that fight, because Nakamp was basically dead from just frontline damage alone, plus tower. If SARPEII didn't get in the back, kill Krima, and distract, then there's no way they make it out with their solo laner.
Man, no one can convince PBE that there's 4 people there, because my man keeps coming back in and finding the kills. Nakamp gonna fall as well. VeganFatness sees 3 low health targets, but it's too much control. Ricochet and the auto puts him down.
And he got crit. And I am with VeganFatness right here. Get me out if I'm that ADC. I kill everyone if I don't get crit in that spot.
Right.
Are you kidding me? I am the extremely heroine voice. No one is as unlucky as me. That's what's going on for VeganFatness right now, and I'm inclined to agree.
Unfortunately, gets crit yet again. I'm telling you, Poison Star, easy, 100%. Obviously doesn't actually say that, but it certainly can feel that way sometimes as White Noise sets it up. But to be honest, VeganFatness in that play, it has to be perfect from him. The Athena still has the taunt available. Ricochet's there as well. Even without the crit, it's tough for Fatness to find more than one trade, I feel like, there.
It's true. Now, it would have been a tough ask for him to kill everybody, but when you get the benefit, like when you get killed like that, you're allowed to say, I would have killed everyone in that spot. Like, you're allowed to say that, and so I'm definitely screaming that if I'm VeganFatness for sure.
And no one can say it wouldn't have happened,
That's right. Prove me wrong.
Definitely get that that credence. But what is the overall... I'm still unclear on the overall strategy for both these teams. It feels like they're kind of throwing dice up in the air and seeing how many come up in their favor as Gold Fury being pulled now for playing Ducks. VeganFatness is taking quite a bit of damage. White Noise wants him. Waxing Moon doesn't hit much. Gold Fury still leashed in all of this madness as White Noise drops back in, and Ducks are the one who grabs it. They drop the Suns as well, but PBE jumps back out.
The die roll comes up, playing Ducks, and they get the Gold Fury. Nakamp gets killed pretty easily on the backside. VeganFatness was low, but had enough mobility to get away with airstrike. I mean, that was the perfect place to say that, because then they show up to the craps table and start rolling the dice right away. That is a toss-up, to put it best, in either favor. But playing Ducks end up slightly ahead.
It feels like you walk up to SARPEII and go, "What's your strategy?" And he goes, "No one touches my Robin." And then, like, that's what it is, right? He's sick. I feel good on this pick. It's kind of what it is, and he's putting it on display here so far. 8-3-7. Here to defend this Fire Giant that looks like Imnsonia are considering, or perhaps the Pyromancer, but enough members from Playing Ducks are here to deter them from that. Bombs rain in, but that's a tanky Geb. Gotta be careful overcommitting, and Playing Ducks will fall back.
Kino with that early Talisman of Energy. He's picked this up every game so far pretty early on, and I do think it's undervalued. In this game in particular, I would have much preferred to see a Heartward Amulet with how much magical damage is on this team. You're kind of throwing your carries out to dry by not going Heartward Amulet, but I do think Talisman of Energy is underutilized as a whole.
Pyromancer will be secured by Imnsonia. KS Ray gets the taunt, but SARPEII comes on the backside. Dive bomb aggressive, and JHOX is going to pay for it with his life. Defender of Olympus comes out to make sure SARPEII can retreat, but Nakamp wants nothing to do with retreating. He wants to pull everybody back in.
He'll get one. That's Kino, and nice double stun right there by TBC. PBE gets one as Primo notches one for himself, but Nakamp is able to bring down Kino. At the end of the day, it's a 2 for 3 in favor of Playing Ducks, and there might be a fourth.
VeganFatness still wants this trade, but he has to be very careful. TPC still around. Come from the bottom side is Nakamp, and the flames are more than up, and VeganFatness finds the surrender vote yet again. Krima, the only one still standing as Insomnia lose the fight pretty handily.
And this is where, how many traditional mages you think at least pick up one in that spot, Finch? You know how many Chang'e gets in that situation?
It's a 0.
That's a big old goose egg. He's not getting any kills in that spot. Because of it, this is going to be a fire giant. If even one person dies between TPC and the comp, I don't think that Playing Ducks get this FG just because the boulders that come out do too much damage to 2 targets.
Right.
But when you split it among 3, it makes it a lot safer, and indeed Playing Ducks will get the fire giant.
Down in their favor. The only one that won't have it is SARPEII, who, to be honest, is kind of doing the most work. So you might want him to have that one, but it won't be too big of a problem. As long as TPC and White Noise are feeling comfortable, Playing Ducks can keep right on rolling.
Love this Spear of the Magus right after the Divine Ruin from TPC. It ups the damage that this Ares is going to be doing by a pretty considerable margin. You apply it very nicely. Now you finish it off with the Soul Reaver. I love this build from TPC. The only difference is that he could have gone for Book of Thoth instead of Mage's Blessing Bancroft's Talent in the early game. That would have made the Soul Reaver even better because it's adding to the Book of Thoth passive with the 300 mana that it provides you, and then you get to finish off the build with the Book of the Dead. But if he wanted early pressure, which he got, then Bancroft's works.
TPC making it work here for him in this game, and I've been saying sort of, what is the the overall cohesive strategy from both these teams? But it seems like from Playing Ducks, the strategy is to make Insomnia beat them in a fight. That really feels like what it is from them. And so far, Insomnia have not been able to do it. KS Ray 1-1-14, been a part of 15 kills here so far. SARPEII routinely surviving in these fights and finding the low health targets. If they can continue to play like this, then fine. Make Insomnia fight you and just win them.
And there's not a lot of punishment from Insomnia because, the last few times have been a little bit jokey, but this one's for real. They just don't have the damage because they have Chang'e in the mid lane.
Right.
You're able to just death ball at Insomnia because once Waxing Moon is down, Chang'e is a very, very lackluster damage mage. And even with Waxing Moon, you need to line up for her to be a really effective damage mage. Kreema's not able to do a whole lot in this game. I mean, his player damage is barely above that of VeganFatness, who's also had a rough game this time around.
Yes.
On the Jing way. But if that's he struggled in the Raijin last game, so let's put him on, I don't know, Poseidon. At least you're doing something with Poseidon at this point in the game. At least you're controlling some space with Whirlpool. Let's put him on Giannis. He can move the team around. He can stay safe himself. He can be slippery throughout this team fight. Again, notorious Chang'e hater here in mid lane, but I do think that it's a major reason why Insomnia is struggling.
And it's not a Shyamalan twist, that Chang'e is not a big burst mage, right? You knew that coming into this one. The reason why she does so well in solo is she can rotate over ahead of you and maybe catch you off guard with damage from just being higher level than you, or she's just here for utility anyway, and she's keeping everyone sustained, and Waxing Moon has tons of control. When you're reliant on this Chang'e to finish people off or to get them in the kill threshold for VeganFatness and Jox, it's just not going to be doing the same thing as Agni, Raijin, Poseidon, Thoth, and then the others. And now it's trouble for PBE as well around the red buff. He gets caught out, and now the same for Kino. Can't get into the CC immunity. Cataclysm is there, but the damage coming over the top for TPC, just too strong.
It's a double kill for Ares solo. Nakamp doing it again. He was behind.
Somebody stop this man!
He was behind the last game, or this game, in that lane, but is still able to make it happen when it comes to the team fighting because Insomnia doesn't have the damage to stop him.
VeganFatness can't trade out that Phoenix. They do send SARPEII back to stop it, but it's just one lone Kreema here to defend up against 4. Pulled back in. Aegis is nice, but the crits are better. Once again, easy for Nakamp as he cleans up his 3rd kill of this engagement. White Noise going to force out Jox. Not too worried about Phoenixes at this point, I suppose, and now he will turn back and grab the structure.
Like that SARPEII doesn't just let VeganFatness back. If you have to back in that spot, you have to chase out the opposition, and SARPEII does that and makes sure that left side Phoenix goes down in favor of Playing Ducks, who are in complete control at this point. Fire Giant's about to run out, 5 seconds left, but now you get an enhanced FG. Now that it's after 25 minutes and 1 Fire Giant has already gone down, you've knocked down the best Phoenix because it's furthest away from the Fire Giant, which means that it's harder for Insomnia to defend that properly. Playing Ducks look like it may have made a great bounce back after a really tough game 1.
It really was tough, and it didn't their Game 2 win didn't exactly lay the groundwork in my mind for a Game 3 win, right? I wasn't going, we'll just do that again in Game 3 and make them beat you. But apparently they could. What worked for them? It was SARPEII in the jungle with no answer to him, and apparently this Ares rotating over and having some nice impact.
And TPC playing a lot better these last 2 games.
He has been playing better.
On the Agni pick has definitely been a key factor as well. I think TPC has been the main catalyst for this particular game's victory here on this Agni. His control and player damage has been too much for Imnsonia to handle.
Mitigating whatever impact Krima might have had with that healing of this Divine Ruin too quite easily. Getting applied. Pyromancer does not stand a chance up against the might of playing Ducks. Reaching their final form here. This is what I expected from when I saw the cool logo, Ryan. They're putting it on display for you here now in game. Fire Giant should go down for them as well. Only 2 Phoenixes standing. Imnsonia got to find a way to try and make this defense happen. And we've been talking about Chang'e as your mage. I mean, how is she on defense? Waxing Moon's a great tool, but not much in terms of clear.
That is it. I mean, Waxing, you have to hit the Waxing Moon to end all Waxing Moons on every defense to have a chance. If you can hit 2 frontliners and a carry, you have probably won your team the fight. If you hit anything less than that, you have probably lost the game. It's pretty... You wanted binary, Finch. And
that is, yeah.
In my mind, Waxing Moon is pretty binary. You either get a great one or it doesn't do a lot.
Right side appears to be the call, though. Let SARPEII and Ray, a lot of rhyming going on here, push down the mid lane, or at least keep the minions there to threaten them. Krima and JhoX are both still there, but all of the minions have been cleared on the right side, so it's not a chance to push yet. All relics should be available. Krima and TPC just got their Aegis's back, and Krima's will be back momentarily, so should be plenty of defensive options here.
Good overhead kick from SARPEII, saves his Magi's blessing, or cloak, excuse me. We're in 2018 now.
Ray goes in aggressively. Bomb is right there to follow up. SARPEII is going to try and keep VeganFatness out of this one, while JhoX on the backside forcing Aegis and forcing Defender of Olympus to come down on TPC, who will just barely survive. But White Noise has sat on this Phoenix, and he can't quite bring it down. He gets forced out by a PvE, and the comp falls.
So close. TPC just plays that engagement a little bit strangely, in my mind. Yes, Susano's on you. He blinked jet streams. Now you can't really use your dash. But use the dash and use that as your guaranteed stun setup in that spot.
SARPEII is going to put the damage onto VeganFatness. Waxing Moon onto a single target means Phoenix will come down. Agni Bombs are there as well. Good damage onto Kino. Even though it's a 4v5, playing Ducks do at least find the structure, and the left side Phoenix was already taken down, so only mid is it left at full health.
Left side probably could go down as soon as it comes back up. Now, Nakamp doesn't have teleport, not a solo laner who picked that relic up, so can't...
Who needs it?
...rejoin this fight. Apparently not him, but that might mean that Imnsonia get a chance to get this left side Phoenix up, knowing that relics are down for playing Ducks. Their ultimates are coming back up as well. Means that indeed that side Phoenix will go down, or come back up rather, for Imnsonia.
But JhoX at least able to have that impact. TPC wasn't in that fight the way that they would have liked. White Noise couldn't burn the Phoenix down cleanly that first time, and the conf goes a little bit too far forward on his own and does end up paying for it with his life. Now, they trade all that for one Phoenix, which I'm sure they're okay with. They at least got it, and it will forever be weakened as a result. But Imnsonia is showing some signs of life. It wasn't that easy for playing Ducks to kind of break into the base that time.
No, and JhoX, you're right, did a very good job of zoning out TPC. But again, I think if TPC finds himself in that position again, the early Aegis isn't great in that spot. I think that you can dash not towards your team, but not also simultaneously not away from your team, if that makes sense. You kind of go equidistant. That lays down Path to Flames. That'll guarantee JhoX takes damage from it, because if he teleports to you, he hits it. And that way you pop his Magi's bubble by laying down Noxious Fumes. And then turn around 2 with your Bancroft's Talon, as he's dealing damage to you, is going to put him very low, and then you save Aegis for Typhoon, and he's out of resources, and you've got a whole team coming to your aid during that time. It's a tricky engagement. Susano Agni is a tough one to, you know, if this is a fighting game, that's a tough matchup for you.
Sure.
But if you just think ahead about what Susano is going to do in response to what you are doing, you could pretty easily place your bombs and flame waves where they need to be.
Ray goes in first, but PvE responds, forces the beads out from White Noise. who shall be more susceptible. JhoX comes on the backside. TPC is his target one more time, along with White Noise, who is incredibly low. Typhoon cleans him up, and the Hunter's already removed.
Good pull, though, from Nakamp, looking for a little bit more. Ray looking for the respawn now, over a minute until he comes back up as PBE keeps it going. Double kill for VeganFatness. JhoX taking that 1v1. Nakamp cuts him down, but another good defense from Imnsonia.
And we said it before, but this is probably where Imnsonia will be strongest, at least as a unit. Maybe not their draft, because we said they don't have the best tools, but Imnsonia would rather have these 5-on-5 fights where there's the fewest variables and parameters. As Comp blinks in the VeganFatness, he does have PBE here in support. VeganFatness looking for the trade, but can't find it, and the Comp just burns him down.
VeganFatness could have beads dashed away at any time. Kino a little bit slow on getting there to Geb Shield, I guess, but to be honest, I wasn't really looking at the map. If Nakamp gets away with this, then okay, Kino gonna make sure that he gets away with that.
Pushes him away from everyone else.
That's rough. That shouldn't happen. That's like when someone is like, you know, skateboarding and they fall and their hand is facing the wrong way. You're like, that shouldn't happen.
Because like your hand doesn't face that way.
Right. That like you shouldn't. Ares shouldn't like that.
Shouldn't blink in onto a Jingwei, get the kill, walk through mid-Phoenix, pass 3 members, and then just leave. That shouldn't happen.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. Yeah, that shouldn't happen.
Not when Nakamp is playing easy for Nakamp with his solo Ares. No teleport needed. Getting it done.
I guarantee Mixer chat loves this guy.
Yes, I know they do. Yeah.
For play, I mean, Deathwalker really like catapulted himself into stardom with Ares solo. That was in a LAN final game, of course, but chat just loves their Ares solo mains, man.
They love anything that's weird and not normal for sure.
Yeah, you're right.
As soon as Outpost starts getting to play, they're like, yeah.
They really do love weird solo picks more than anything on the planet.
Yeah, they love that.
You know? I could play like Chalk mid for F-Dot. He would be pumped. Chat would be like, whatever. But, you know, I load in Giannis solo, and I've got people sending money to my PO box.
Yeah, you've got 5 thesis statements about why that works. Threshold's nuts in the 1v1. You know, they're ready. They definitely got it. Yeah,
they'll always have your back if you're playing something weird in solo. So if you really love attention from chat, play weird solo picks.
Pushing onto the right side, Phoenix. Nakamp going to be the front line for him. SARPEII is keeping the mid Phoenix under a little bit of duress as well. The Comp still tanking it. Sprint comes out. They want to push in right here, right now. Trying to find some damage on the structures, White Noise, but he gets zoned away by PBE. JhoX does finally come into the backside. Aegis immune to the damage. Right side, Phoenix is down, and everyone's still healthy aside from the Comp. In fact, JhoX in some trouble as SARPEII can find the Prana Onslaught.
Big play by SARPEII. He gets that one. Blink forward. Nakamp gonna pull multiple people in. Airstrike's good for damage, but he's still up.
SARPEII finds the double kill. TPC right there for the follow-up as VeganFatness finally puts down the Ares. Geb Shield allows Fatness to trade. He wants TPC, but Defender of Olympus keeps him alive. Body blocks trade out as well. VeganFatness goes down, and Ray finds that kill. Only one lone Geb left to stand up against the might of playing Ducks. Shockwave does some damage, but they're looking to put an end to this one.
Okay, I was kind of joking about it earlier, but VeganFatness really did have a bad luck game there. He nearly does kill everyone of consequence, but it ends up being playing Ducks who take the game and the set. VeganFatness, man, I got a feel for him there. That was hard for me to watch. He gets killed off 2 lucky crits, a lucky crit 2 different times.
Right.
He gets soloed by Ares at 31 minutes, and his team doesn't kill the freaking Ares afterwards. And then right there gets his 1 auto body blocked every time he needed it. Tough, man. I feel for you, VeganFatness. I feel for you.
PS4 surely is up in the air, though, right? No way to know where things are going to end up going. But who's your MVP? And this is for the set overall for playing Ducks. So
I wonder who's going to win.
Biggest impact. I know you want to say it was that Ares, but please vote for SARPEII. I have
or TPC.
I had to persuade you to vote for someone who did things, and not just because it was the Ares, right? I have to try and win you all over because I know you guys love the Ares.
Get on the campaign trail right now for someone. Look, Nakamp played well. We're not saying that he didn't, deserve to get some fans and that kind of stuff. Love to see that kind of weird stuff, but it was enabled by SARPEII and TPC playing well.
Right. I don't think that the Ares did a whole lot that maybe some other warriors couldn't have done, is what I'm saying, is all I'm saying.
Well, no other warrior has a magical sword. Like, he cuts you with a sword, but it's magical
that's
damage.
pretty cool. Actually, I didn't even think about it like that, right?
Yeah.
And his shield has a face.
Yep.
Does anyone else have that?
Xing Chen's, like,
Chest
chest
is
is
a-
a face. And that's what he played game 1. He's got a thing for faces.
Where they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Weird face
Maybe he should play some
locations.
Agni solo, because he's got a whole extra face. It is in the right spot, but you shouldn't have 2 of them.
Yeah, just like an Ares shouldn't be able to blink on you at 31 minutes and then live. Because
And just
of it.
walk,
Yeah.
waddle right out, essentially,
Yeah.
right?
That shouldn't happen.
He didn't-
Like, having 2 heads shouldn't happen. Yeah, that's how it works.
How did he? Because Ares isn't super fast. He didn't jump. He didn't dash.
No.
He waddled his way right on out of there and was able to make it out. But it is going to be the comp selected as the MVP, because who else could it have been? Why would you listen to me, chat?
Well, honestly, I wonder if we wouldn't. This is where I really wish there was an alternate universe that I could. This is the
it
only
'cause
thing I
we
would
said it,
change.
you think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
only because we said it. Yeah. I think you and I had a Twitter poll a while ago that I said don't vote for this, and then a lot of people voted for it, and I'm convinced that's the only reason I lost that poll.
Right, I think it was, I don't remember exactly what it was, but we were arguing about it, and you came in and said, chat, this should be free for your thing.
Yeah.
And that, I think, might have messed you up. I ended up
agree.
getting more votes as a result.
Yeah, because it definitely couldn't have been that anyone thought your idea or you were a good person to vote for in general. And so that's why the only way that I could have lost that particular argument. And here, I think that we contributed to Nakamp getting MVP. So you're welcome,
Yes.
Nakamp.
And we've been, obviously, the Ares did have impact. It would be, I think it would be foolhardy to say that none.
Yes, of course
The
it
no
did.
escapes obviously were great. The chains
Yep.
were there too. I just don't think it was principle. I don't think it was for first and foremost. I think it was
I agree.
probably SARPEII or TPC, especially in Game 3. TPC looked excellent. Yeah.
It was team effort, though.
Yeah.
You know, playing Ducks get their first victory of the split, and they should
Yeah.
feel pretty good about it.
I'm glad they're looking good. Impressed by what they've done here so far. But believe it or not, that's really not even it. We have more PS4 action coming for you. It's a stacked day full of Smite. So if y'all been with us all day, go ahead and grab your drinks, grab your snacks. We got a quick break, and we're going to be right back for the last set.